Well, it's done. It's done. A compelling message that resonated with low propensity voters, with first time Trump voters I happen to know, is the topic of today's video: the persuasion power of reciprocity. There is a meme that I created based on this book, Bulletproof, the truth about the assassination attempts on Donald Trump. Myself and Jack Posobiec, we were furious that the mainstream media, immediately after a Trump supporter was killed, Corey Compatore, the assassination attempt on Trump, the story was dropped by the mainstream media. We were not okay with that. We recognized the moment that we were in, that nothing like this has ever happened in our country before, that he was specifically targeted for political reasons. We're not okay with that. The story was dropped. The investigation was halted. Evidence was destroyed for political reasons. We believe that the assassination attempt actually helps Trump because he survived, so we need to stop talking about it. Jack Posobiec and myself that night said, hell to the no. We're not going to let that happen. Corey Compatore's sacrifice will not have been done in vain. And then we chose the photo we did. And I'll show you the meme here. It goes like this. You can see it there. Trump took a bullet for me. I can cast a vote for him. I shared this multiple times a day since then. It was the message of the book. I told as many people as I could, download this, share on social media. This is the persuasion power of reciprocity. He did this amazing, great big thing for you, literally taking a bullet for democracy. He made that very clear. He wants to be president for everybody. He wants cheaper gas, cheaper food, cheaper housing, and all higher quality. And that's just getting started for everybody, even those who did not vote for him. That's what unity means. That's called being a leader. People who've been following mainstream media have no idea about any of that, unfortunately. It is what it is. It is what it is. The idea of bringing greatness to everyone who's in America is a resonant message, and it's universal. And it's one that I want to support for myself and for my family, because I believe that a Trump administration would make things better for all of us. If you're not a law-abiding citizen, and you're not a citizen, and you're not a citizen who's trying to abide by the law, probably not going to go well for you. Now, if you're a legal immigrant or seeking legal immigration status, yeah, things will go okay for you. But not if you're a lawbreaker or an evildoer. Justice will commence. But this image, Trump did this amazing thing, risking his life to try to earn your vote. And all you have to do is show up and bring an ID and sign a couple of papers, click a couple of things, write a couple of things, punch a couple of buttons. Wow, that's reciprocity. And I believe that that message would resonate with men specifically. That's one of the reasons that I did the book with Jack, Bulletproof, is to get this photo in front of as many men who are not going to vote, not interested, not paying attention, as possible. I don't know how much Jack Posobiec and I certainly believe Jack did, being as influential as he is. I don't know what that book, together with Unhumans that I did with Jack Posobiec, I don't know how much that moved the needle, but I know that it did. You might recall, we'll talk about reciprocity in a moment, I promise. And also how you should talk about the election to people who did not vote for Trump. This book I did with Jack, called Unhumans. It's the #1 best-selling book of summer 2024. It was on the New York Times bestseller list the week between Trump being shot in Butler and then the palace coup of Joe Biden, when they thought he could not win. J.D. Vance endorsed this book. Jack Posobiec and Joshua Lisec reveal their plans and shows what to do to fight back. In the past, communists marched in the streets waving red flags. Today, they march through HR, college campuses, and courtrooms to wage lawfare against good, honest people. Their time is done. Wherever we are, there will be no communism. We talk in that book about the iron law of exact reciprocity and how persuasive that is, both to prevent people from hurting you and also to get what you want. in life. As far as I know, I'm the first ghostwriter turned co-author who has 2 books that are endorsed by a president and a vice president, respectively. Trump had some good things to say about Bulletproof himself. I don't think he liked the cover because it shows him in a vulnerable position. But the reason that we chose that photo is to get that photo in front of as many men as we could, to see that photo, to make them remember that moment of pain and suffering and humiliation, truly, that Trump was forced to endure by his enemies. And a man sees that, that man says, I will run through a brick wall for this guy. And that's the sentiment we wanted to spread around the country. And it looks like we did. It looks like we did. It was earlier this year, the summer, in the spring, that Trump and all of his campaign messaging began to focus on communism, Marxism, and the threat that that would be in this election. And that brought urgency, and that brought a very real fear to the right, to normal people, and to realize that what the Democratic Party stood for was socialism, violent socialism. And then we predicted all of it in Unhumans, that the left was going to do this in our age, and that we needed a great man of history like Elon Musk and like Donald Trump and others to stop it, to say no. Wherever I am, there will be no communism. And we traced that rhetoric, that anti-communist rhetoric, directly from our book, Unhumans, right into the Trump administration and right into the voting booth. I'm stoked. Is this a victory lap? Yeah, it is. The Guardian wrote a hit piece about me personally, in which they said that I am the ghostwriter for right-wing influencers, as if that is some sort of an attack. That's one of the best reviews I've ever gotten. It is. It is. A lot of you are now wondering how to talk about politics in the future with your Kamala fans and stands and your family and in your social circles and at work. Well, there is a powerful moment for them to experience reciprocity, not at your hands, but you can say something like, and I put this out on my social media. I said, now you get to see that everything the media told you was going to happen was a lie. There will be no Project 2025, for example. Everything they told you was a hoax, and now you're going to see that. And then I said, over the next 4 years, as gas, housing, and food prices plummet, as you experience a great time to successfully build a business in America, you're going to be wearing one of these hats. Former Kamala voter. You will. You will. So what is the reciprocity? The reciprocity is, you have been lied to. What are you going to do about it? And to prime them for this is a little bit of persuasion. Yeah. Not just celebrating, saying, hey, Trump won. No. What's their emotional state? It's pace and lead. I want Kamala voters to be wearing MAGA hats. I do. But what we need is for them to come to that place through that reciprocity, through that, wow, they lied to me about everything. And remind them all of the fears, and be very specific. What specific fears that they had? Somebody on Facebook was saying they want to hurt transgender people. And this is what Trump rallies are all about. It's all about praising violence and assault. What? I've been to rallies. I've spoken at pro-Trump events. I spoke the night of? Yeah, I spoke the same day that Donald Trump spoke at an event in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, to launch Unhumans, by the way. There's a hilarious video of Joshua's hypnotizing Donald Trump stare. It's quite funny. Joshua's hypno stare to talk about the communists destroying water pressure and showers. This is a great meme out there. This is a great day for this country. It is. And the important thing is not to necessarily gloat to friends and family, but to predict. This and to tell them, this is where you get to see everything that what you were told is a lie. Everything. And it's okay. It's okay. I also recommend tracking it and saying, this is what I predict. This is what I voted for him for. This is what I voted for him to do. And this is how he's going to begin doing that. What you want is to show that you, as a Trump supporter and voter, have a better track record at predicting the future than they do. And being very clear about that. That's one of the reasons why Scott Adams, one of my clients, the number of books with him, we just did the Win Bigly second edition. That's one of the reasons why he's been able to persuade so many people to be Trump supporters. Is because he has tracked the hoaxes and false claims and predictions and broken promises and false prophecies of the left and their mainstream media networks that did not come to pass. And the truth that same truth can be true about you. Like, what specifically have been people posting? They've been talking about rolling back women's rights. They've been talking about attacking gay people. They've been talking about Project 2025. They've been talking about banning IVF and all these sorts of things. No. There's not a single person who voted for Trump because they believed he was going to do any of that. That's a compelling thing that you can say, by the way. Another question that you can ask people is, have you heard the counter to that? Or have you heard the counter argument to that? Have you heard the counterclaim? This is a good question that Scott Adams suggests asking. There's going to be a lot of Thanksgiving dinners that are going to get very testy. But they don't have to. They don't have to. The reciprocity here is not you against them. It's them and the media. It's them realizing the media did them wrong, and now they need justice with the media. And that means rejecting the media. It means canceling their subscriptions to these newspapers. It means blocking all of these influencers on their social media. It might take a few months. It might take a couple of years even to do that. Some people will never change because their identity is so wrapped up in being the resistance or whatever. And they fell for it and they've fallen so far it's not going to change. But there are a lot of people, a lot of Kamala voters who are going to be wearing a MAGA hat. There's going to be even more of them who say, honey, that MAGA hat stays on. It's morning again in America. And this video is being recorded in the afternoon of November 6th, the day after the golden age has begun. And that's what's happening. I expect we'll see J.D. Vance president in 2028, reelected in 2032. The way I see it is this movement has 12 years to create the most prosperous, free, beautiful, wonderful civilization that has ever existed in human history. There will be freedom cities, Mars colony, moon base. They've brought up the elimination of income tax, the banning of illegal activity, the prohibition of communism, cultural Marxism, which is also called gay race communism, right? And this is the idea like if you're a straight white person, your dignity is less, your worth is less than a non-white, non-straight person. This is mainstream thought from the left. Those days are done. Those days are done. And I believe I played a small role in ending those days and helping make America great again. So I'm celebrating. I don't know that you know how much this cost me. It didn't cost me my life. I have a friend named Michael Gemmerin who always says, if you don't die, you win. And in death, there is still victory. I think of Corey Compertori. He sacrificed his life to save his family. That's what it means to be a Trump supporter. It means to sacrifice what you like for what you love. I can't think of anything more American than that. So I'll end the video now with encouragement to you to help your Kamala stands, Democrat and liberal friends, family, coworkers, colleagues, etc. Be reminded of what they expected to happen and remind them gently but consistently how none of it happens. And then what are they going to do about it? Well, the iron law of reciprocity demands they ban all unhuman activity from their lives. Eventually, it's going to mean that they wear a MAGA hat to bed with you.